Every year, my most popular video is when we head to the mountains and airplane camp and hike. This is that for 2019, featuring Happy Canyon, Mineral Canyon, Johnson Creek, Thomas Creek, Big Creek, Moose Creek, Cavanaugh Bay, and Ryan Field. Well, it's a foggy day here in Moriarty, New Mexico, trying to get to Farmington and then ideally into the backcountry of Utah. But we'll have to wait for this to burn off. Hopefully that'll happen in the next hour or so. It's early, it's only 7:30, so the sun's only been up for about half an hour or so. So we'll see how it goes. So about half an hour ago, the Matar here was claiming that it was MVFR. I think I've got about a quarter mile or less of visibility, so either things got worse or the sensors are bad. Well, I made it to Happy Canyon. This is just amazingly beautiful. I'm standing in front of the old uranium miners cabin, and there's still some artifacts and things like that in there. But what's really amazing is the canyon itself. This is just an incredibly beautiful area to fly in, and I'm really delighted to be here for the first time. I had to go around on my first pass. I was really high coming over the mountains to the east, and then I wasn't really sure where the landing strip was here. So I found it, but I was still pretty high and didn't bleed off the altitude as much as I needed to. So I ended up going around, and we're at high altitude, so it took a little while to kind of gain some altitude and come around. But the second pass, everything was fine, and here we are. So I'm going to stay here for at least one night, and maybe two. I'm not really sure yet. I have to go to Farmington tomorrow, and there's supposed to be an Amazon package waiting for me there. And then eventually I have to head up north to Idaho to meet my buddies up there. So we'll just see how the next 24 hours goes and make some plans based on that. Until then, I'm going to do some hiking around here and see what's going on. So let's see who else is in this book. I just put my name in. Looks like it's a new book starting in 15. David Isham. I know David. I met David at the mall fly-in down in Llano, Texas a few years ago. He came through. Yeah, he came through on his M6. It's good to see a familiar name. Somebody left some matches and some water here. That was nice of them. This is a pretty remote place. It would be kind of a bummer to be stranded out here without your supplies. So I've got a bunch of water. I have fire starting, I have food, I have all that stuff. But still, it's nice for somebody to be looking out for somebody else. So I wanted to get out of the wind so you'd be able to hear me. These rocks are all over. They just fall off the canyon walls and sit here for ages before they finally erode away. There's not much water, there's not much wind, so they stay here for a really long time. You can see on this rock there's a signature from 1928, so that's almost 100 years now. So now let's go see if we can find some petrified wood. I've read that there's a lot of it around here, and the limits on what you can take are fairly high. You can take, 25 pounds if you want to, but I'd just like to get a couple pieces, so let's see if we can find some. So if you run across a little wash like this, sometimes you can see a bunch of petrified wood. We've got small pieces, we've got medium-sized pieces. Sometimes you'll even see like a tree trunk that was fossilized. And the water coming through here, I guess, uncovers them and brings them to the surface. They're not hard to find once you know what you're looking for. I mean, just in this little area here, I probably see 3 or 4 dozen different pieces. So if you come out here, keep your eyes open. You might find something cool.
You and me, let's get together now. You'll see just how this life is supposed to be. Come on. Come on.
be, but that's all right. But I'll tell you, it's a lot more beautiful this morning than it was when I got here. Even at 7 o'clock though, there's still a few, light little bumps. Which is surprising to me because there's no wind at the campsite. Well, it was a great approach into Mineral Canyon. It's really beautiful here, but there are a million bugs. So job number one is to find the bug spray in here somewhere. Aha. Here we go. Boy, it seems like about every 10 steps I take, I scare some lizard off into the brush. Anybody home? I'm thinking I might know who did that logo, or at least the airplane on the logo. I have to look that up when I get back. According to the book, you can come into this strip either way, but one direction sure is a lot more intimidating than the other. It's the difference between pretty tall, sheer cliffs and a little tiny bluff that you only have to lose a little bit of altitude to get out of. Well, here's the question of the day. Where to go next? We're here at Mineral Canyon, and it was kind of miserable here yesterday. I checked the thermometer, and it was 95, and that was after it had cooled down a little bit. I don't know if it got over 100 or not, but it was pretty warm. And a million bugs. So the plan was to go to Hidden Splendor and then Mexican Mountain and spend a couple days doing that. But now I'm thinking I may just head further north, get up to Idaho and get away from some of this heat. The overnight lows in Idaho are still in the 30s and 40s, so that should keep the bugs down. And I've just never had problems with bugs in Idaho the way I have here. So I'm going to get in the air. I think I'll probably skip Hidden Splendor and go up to Mexican Mountain and check things out there and see what it looks like. The photographs that I've seen of it make it look pretty green like it is here. So I'm pessimistic that the bugs will be any better. It's only, I think it's 43 miles away, so it's not very far. So I would anticipate that the temperatures and the bug situation would be pretty much the same. But everybody tells me that it's a great strip. So I think I'll at least fly by, see what's going on, and then make a plan from there. I forgot to mention, it was also pretty loud here. We're right by the river. And there's been some, I guess I'll call them paddling crews that have come through, but they've also had jet boats and pontoons. And they've been having fun on the river, and great, good for them. They have every right to do that as much as I do. But that did mean that for like 3 hours from 5 until 8 last night, geez, actually no, it was more than that. Because it was, I remember it was after sunset. So 5 until like 9 or so, they were just zooming around. A lot of engine noise, a lot of yelling and screaming and all that. So that wasn't that fun either. I don't think I have the same problem at Mexican Mountain though, so that's not really my concern in heading up there. Okay, let me give you a quick recap. So, the plan was to spend a week in Utah. We're abandoning that plan. Yesterday in Mineral Canyon was just super uncomfortable, very hot, a million bugs. Ended up kind of trapped in my tent for most of the day reading my Kindle, which was pleasant enough, but it was still hot. So I decided to head up north, and my goal today is to get up to Boise, visit my buddy Mark. There's some weather coming through tomorrow, which wouldn't be very fun to camp in, and it wouldn't be very fun to fly in. So I thought I'd try to get ahead of it, and that's where we're going today. And then Saturday or Sunday, depending on that same weather system, planning on meeting my buddies at Johnson Creek. So that's the new plan, and we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully the forecast for next week will hold because it's a better forecast, and we'll be able to do the strips in Idaho that we planned on. Certainly there will be fewer bugs, which at this point is a welcome relief. All right, so see you in Idaho. Yeah, I'm gonna need help. Too slippery. Yep.
Oh, you got the brake off?
Yep.
Get it on the wall. Okay, I'm not looking for doing this.
Yeah, well, we can add extra people.
And I don't know that he'll be that much better.
I think Rich got drinks. You're good. Yeah. So it's about 5:50. Another cool morning at Johnson Creek, but not that cool because we didn't even get a frost last night, and I think that's the first time that that's happened to me here. So I'm just gonna get the fire going and then consider plans. I'm thinking about going over to Thomas Creek, and I heard about a hike over there to some hot springs. So I think that's what I might do today, but first I gotta warm up and get some breakfast. Okay, just landed at Thomas Creek. Beautiful day, beautiful flight. No bumps, came over the mountains, everything was smooth. We heard a couple planes on approach, but one of them changed its mind, wasn't confident to be able to get out. There's really not much of a wind, but it is a tailwind on takeoff, so he was a little worried about it. So apparently the deal is you walk to the bridge, go over the bridge, take a right. About 2 miles down the stream, you get to the hot springs. So that's what we're gonna try and do. Well, we're in a wilderness area. It doesn't look very heavily grazed, but that sure does look like a herbivore skull to me. Getting a lot closer. Last bit was pretty uphill. Beautiful day for it though, nice and cool, at least in the shade. Sun's pretty warm, but I'm almost there. That was a nice little hike. Now it's time to go to Big Creek. That's where we'll be for the night, and that's where I'll be for the afternoon as well. Thomas Creek traffic, Orange Mall departing Thomas Creek, downriver
Thomas Creek.
Looks like the iPad didn't connect to the Stratus, but that's a problem for a few minutes from now. There we go. Alright, so I can either go downriver here. I think I may as well just do that. It's a pretty day. Coming up on Mahoney. A little breezy down there, that's surprising. There was no wind at all at Thomas. Okay, so Big Creek is landing 1-9. Alright, got Flying Bee and Bernard up in front of me. Flown into Flying Bee, spent the night there 2 years ago, I think. Beautiful place, nice runway. Bernard was pretty rough. Flying Bee is only usable by guests, though. But they fed us a good meal, let us camp in their yard. I always wonder about the people that mapped these places. This is rugged terrain. I suppose they must have used the rivers as their transportation system, but even so.
Runway Cessna over Cabin Creek, 10,000, headed for Big Creek.
But even so, there's all these valleys that needed to be mapped, and there's no way a boat's getting up there. Okay, next valley is a left turn, and that'll be Big Creek. And we're switching from going downriver to going upriver when we make that left turn. Alright, here's our left turn. We'll overfly. Turn right after the river. Generally speaking, you want to be on the right side of the river at all times. And that way you don't have collision courses with opposing traffic. Got a little bumpy through here. Hopefully that's not going to continue. Soldier Bar traffic, Orange Mall, overflying Soldier Bar, headed to Big Creek.
Hey Rich, I'm just past you a little bit. I'm up at 9,000. I'm probably, parallel with Vines here.
Yeah, I caught your call earlier at Cabin, so I figured you're about halfway there. So that's Jim. His plan for today was to go out and check out a couple of the shorter strips. I was more into going for that little hike. He's usually down in the valleys, though. I'm surprised he's up at 9,000 feet. That's 2,500 feet above me.
Runway Cessna over 3 more, over Big Creek. How's the ride at 8,300? Okay.
I'm at 12.5 headed northbound, but it's a slight chop.
I was up at 10 for a bit. It was a bit calm.
Cabin Creek traffic, Orange Mall, overflying upriver to Big Creek. Big Creek traffic, Orange Mall, 6 miles to the east, inbound landing Big Creek. Big bumps there. Yeah, I don't usually like to fly this late in the day for exactly this reason. Just not as much fun. And Big Creek traffic, Orange Mall overflying. Come around and under the pattern. Hopefully for 1-9, Big Creek. Big thermals over here. And winds are favoring 1-9. Big Creek traffic, Orange Mall, left downwind, runway 19, Big Creek. Big Creek traffic, Orange Mall, short final 19, Big Creek. Okay. Park the plane, call it a day.
It's Tuesday, we're at Moose Creek. We have had a blast so far. Jeff is in town with problems with his airplane, and he'll hopefully be able to hook up with us Friday, but that kind of wrecks his trip. I mean, that's 3 nights that he won't be able to be out in the bush with us, so that's a major bummer. But the weather today has been absolutely perfect. We got up early down at Big Creek and headed north to Moose Creek. The skies were perfectly smooth, great flying. We had a flight of 3, so we had some fun on the way, doing some photography and some air-to-air video. And now we're just chilling. So Jeff and Jim are down in the river fly fishing, and Eric and Sandy are back up at camp. Russ must be back at camp. He didn't come with us. He was just finishing a very short hike when we ran into him. So I thought he might come over here with us, but I guess he didn't. So I'm gonna hang out here and watch the fly fishing for a few minutes and decide if I want to go down to the ranch again or if I'm just gonna head back to camp. Maybe take advantage of some of that hammock time.
I think you're good. Okay. So here's a seatbelt, but don't rig it, and then the other side's over there. Don't clip it just yet.
Gotta have my shoulder strapped.
Yeah. Here, let's go. Okay. Let me just let me get it to right here.
Okay.
And then they on this side they slip.
Comes from opposite.
Yep. You know the deal there.
Okay.
You know what? I didn't push out first. I'm gonna blast. I guess I'm gonna blast my tent. So.
My door's closed.
I can help push you.
Well, he's already strapped in. So there you go. That's it.
Okay.
Then this.
Oh, it sits there. Okay.
And then these 2 go in here.
Okay.
You see a big one and a small one? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
And I think that's it.
Sitting under a wing, enjoying the cool air here at Cavanaugh Bay. It's supposed to warm up quite a bit today, so I'm glad to be on the ground already. It's about 10:30 or 11, and I took off ahead of Eric, Jim, and Jeff, so I'm on the ground already. Beautiful approach into this airport. It's a big grass strip, big mountain on this side, lake over there, and then an uphill landing on the runway. So we're going to hang out here for a minute and get some footage of their approaches and enjoy a hot shower. And apparently there's some restaurants around here also, so this will be a very easy day. So it's Thursday morning here in beautiful Cavanaugh. We had a couple good meals in town. We had some great night photography opportunities. This airport is just epic. It's well cared for by the Idaho Department of Aeronautics, and they take care of us as well. A couple crew cars, and now it is off to Ryan. But first, here's what we did yesterday. Skies were smooth, canyons were beautiful. We flew a formation of 4 across some beautiful lakes and through some mountain valley passes. And the approach into Cavanaugh was beautiful. We had smooth skies, and even though it doesn't look particularly obstructed, they do recommend right-hand traffic. So we did that, and you are on final coming over the lake, coming into this gem of an airstrip. And a little bit of a touchdown over into the cul-de-sac, and it's time to park. Then in the afternoon, we went over to Sullivan Lake, which is another beautiful airstrip. We didn't camp there, but it's another approach over a lake after passing through some more valleys and mountains and forests. And we ran into another mall driver over there. They came back over here following us in their mall and had another lovely little flight going that direction.
Make a little kindling. How come? Because you're cooking in the wood stove.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
That guy loves pepper. Empty a pepper shaker at a restaurant.
There it is.
Oh, it's smoking and burning.
I think we have brownies. Now we're going to make some cornbread to go with the steaks, and we'll be all set. All right, the brownies are cooling on the windowsill, old school, and now it is time to make the cornbread to go along with it. All right, so we got the brownies out of the pan. They're gonna go onto the shelf here to warm up for dessert. Now we're gonna make the cornbread. I'm just warming the pan back up. Gonna put some oil in, put the batter in, get it back in the oven. Oven temperature's coming up. We need it to be 400. It's about 325 now. And the baked goods should be ready for the steaks then. All right, the pan's nice and hot. Put some oil in there. And then add the batter, and we're all set. Listen to that sizzle.
You guys have anything in mind for you're trying to make a background? You're gonna be yeah. Looks like we got strips.
Yeah, I think this is gonna work.
Oh my god, these were a lot more reasonable. Well, we're using a wood stove. This is the real deal. Chuck Drecky just told us.
Where's the heat coming from?
It's the only way to cook. Food tastes better on this.
Oh, we've got a bloomin' onion or something like that.
Mountain style.
Mountain style. Right out of the fire.
So what is that?
That is an onion and garlic and butter.
Yeah, Russ, you know, we're gonna need a pretty big bed of coal,
Okay.
right? I mean, we gotta get all those steaks on
So I
there.
got all those potatoes, all those steaks, so I'm gonna build it massive here and you just knock it back as it gets going.
Perfect. Do we leave this out here for the bears, or?
Think it's hot enough, Rich?
I think it's hot enough.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
I think your mom's having
Hey, getting ready for steaks.
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 New York strip.
It seems like it's pouring rain.
Yeah, that's okay. Look at the way they got the furniture.
What are we doing?
We're cooking meat.
Okay, here we go.
Look good? Looks good.
Oh,
What is going on out there?
I don't know. The smoke really stings in the eyes.
Way to go, guys!
What is that guy doing?
He's crazy. Getting a good shot. I'll show you the rainbow.
Oh no.
Look at the rainbow. We did a double rainbow over there.
That is crazy cool.
It's just like the damn It's a double. Got him off before it really started.
You found the rainbow.
I found the rainbow. Good.
Did you see the rainbow?
Yeah. It was really
It was incredible.
6,000 feet below sea.
So from the lodge, the silk stuff.
On behalf of the entire YouTube community, thank you guys for cleaning up
and taking care of our dinner dishes.
I cleaned up as much of the dinner as I could possibly fit.